Today we are going to see the diabetes patient dataset of supervised learning using the decision tree. For this we are going to use NumPy for numerical operations, Pandas for database importing, exporting and operations, Matplotlib for visualization along with Seaborn. The data that we are going to use is diabetes. This dataset is available on Kaggle. You can go on Kaggle and search for diabetes and you can get this dataset and download it, which is of 24 KB. Furthermore, the main attributes of a dataset are pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetes, pedigree function, age, and outcome, wherein the outcome is a label due to which this dataset is said to be a supervised learning dataset with provided labels. Now we are going to clean our dataset to check if any null values like these zeros which are present. We are going to convert these zeros into NaN by using the replace function and replacing the zeros with numpy's function of NaN for these columns into our dataset. Now further, after cleaning and replacing the missing values in the dataset using the missing NO. These are the two ways in which you can replace the value, the missing NO. But missing NO helps you to visualize the data. That is, it shows that what amount of data does not contain 0 as a value. And we can see that in pregnancies, the maximum is 768, whereas in glucose, it is 763. For blood pressure, it is 733. For skin thickness, there are 541 values which are not null. For insulin, there are 394 values. For BMI, there is 77. For diabetic pedigree function, there is 768. For age, it is 768. For outcome, it is 768. Now further, we will use the decision tree classifier model, for which we import the pandas again. Then over here from the sklearn model, we select the test train split to split our data into test data and train data. Then again from the tree we import the decision tree classifiers to train our data, and then matrices which will help us in more description of the data. Now using the splitting function on the data set, we split our data into input or independent and dependent variable, where x will have all the attribute values, which is pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetic pedigree function, age, whereas our y variable will have this dependent value, that is outcome, which is dependent on all the other attributes, which will guess whether or not a person has it or does not have it, wherein 0 indicate that the person does not have diabetes and 1 indicate that the person has diabetes. Now after selecting the x and y value, that is the independent and dependent value, we will split the data into train and test using the test train split values function. In this case, we give it the x and y values which you have segregated over here with the test size of 0.2. That is 80% of our data will be kept reserved for testing the model, and 20% of the data will be kept reserved for testing the model. That is 80% of the data will help us to train our model, and the 20% data helps us to test whether or not we have trained our model accurately. The random state is 0 and the shuffle is false. That is, the data won't be shuffled further. Now the X train contains these values. The Y train will contain these values of 1 and 0. Remember that for Y train we only took one column due to which it has only 1 and 0 values. But for X train we took multiple columns. So for X train as well, we took the column number from 0 to 7. That is, we took 7 columns for X train, due to which it has this many values. Now the Y test, it contains the 20%, and you can see here clearly that the 80% of the data is kept for training and just 20% of the data is kept for testing. Now we declare a variable which acts as an object for the function of decision tree classifier with random state equal to 0. Now using this object we fit our data, that is the training data, so that a model can be trained, and once that is complete we check whether or not our data has been trained properly by using the test data on the trained model to predict the values of y, that is whether or not a patient is diabetic. Now further to check the accuracy, we will use the matrices.accuracy score function to check whether the predicted values and the actual values, that is the y test, which was the actual value, the 80% data, sorry, the 20% data, and the y predict, which we calculated right now, how much accuracy is there, and we can see that 61% accuracy is found. That is, if the data suggests that a person is diabetic, there is 61% chance that the person is actually diabetic. Now using the confusion matrix, we are going to see the true positive, true negative, the false positive and false negative. Now what is this true positive, true negative and false positive and false negative? So over here we can see that the true positive, false positive values. So the true negative, what is true negative? When a case was negative and the predicted was negative, that is, if the case or a particular person is not diabetic and the prediction done by a system is also negative for the test, then the output is said to be true negative. For true positive, we get the value for true positive when the test was positive and the prediction done by our machine after the training is also positive, then it is said to be a true positive value. For false negative, it is when the case was positive but the output or the result given by the machine is negative. So in this case it is said to be a false negative. And for false positive, it is said to be when a case was negative, that is a patient was negative but the prediction was positive. Now over here we are going to use the recall and F1 score, wherein the recall suggests that what percent of the positive cases did we catch. That is, out of all the positive cases, how many positive cases were we able to actually predict. And the F1 score, it predicts what percent of positive predictions were correct. That is, out of all the positive predicted patients, how much of them or how many of them were truly positive. So over here we can see that we use the cross value score to estimator with x equals x train data, y equals y train data, and the mean and the standard values are represented, and over here the cm variable is declared, and tp is equal to cf1 comma 1, wherein the cf is the confusion matrix output, that is this, and 1 comma 1 represents the first row and the first column, that is 13. The accuracy for the values is represented over here. The true negative value is 00, that is the 89 represents true negative. The false positive, that is the 01. So 10 represents the false negative, false positive, and 10, which is 42, which represents the false and negative values. Now from the sklearn.matrices, we will import the accuracy score to check how accurate was our system to predict every value, and we can see that it was able to predict the actual values was 66%, and we were able to predict it to up to 61%. Then the recall score, which we checked right now, it is 23% according to the calculation, and using the function we get that it was 36%, that is there is an error gap of around 13%. True negative value, using the calculation method we get it to be 89%, and for the true positive value we get it to be from the calculation 56, whereas using the function it comes somewhere around 0.44%. Now using the logistic regression model from the sklearn library, we will import that function, and using a variable we will store the output that is generated from that function and use it as a object of that function. Now this object, we fit our training data to it and train the model, and once that is done we predict the values of for giving the x test data, and we can see that the predicted output over here and the y test output over here, that is the 20% output and the predicted output that is present over here. Now after that we again use the x test data to predict the probability, then again we use a predict probab